Hi, my name is Sean Bouquet. I play electric violin, acoustic violin. I am a gigging and studio musician in the Detroit area. And there's something that I learned within the past 5 years that is really easy to do, but very confusing on how to get started. And it's the chop. The chop is something that is just, that's it. It's just that sort of scratchy sound. And you can incorporate it into like that, and it adds this cool beat. There's different ways of chopping where you can then chop in different places to get sort of a rhythm. There's a triple chop where it bounces and it's like a ricochet at the frog. And all these things are kind of cool, but at first we just need to get that chop sound. When I was trying to learn how to chop, I watched a bunch of videos, and the videos were people going, yep, all you have to do is put your bow straight down onto the string, and they would go, and I would go, and I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. You would also see a lot of videos where people would talk about your bow hand must be like this, or thumb under the frog, or pinky straight. No, you don't have to adjust any of that. None of it needs to be adjusted. You can just keep your bow hold like that. And chopping is not a strong bow stroke. There was a piece I played called The 3 Gs by Kenji Bunch where it has altered tuning, so it's not going to sound the exact same, but... And I was like really slamming down, and Kenji Bunch wrote me on Facebook because I posted the video asking for some help, and he's like, yeah, you don't need to push that hard. It's just very light. Okay, so how do we do this? This is one of those things that you need to just practice it and build the muscles up. And so by the end of the video and you try it, you might get a little bit of a sound. You might get something like a, and that's great. That's all you really need. The more you do it, it'll start developing more and more, and you start to just sort of develop your own little angle and style to it. One big thing first is you need rosin. So make sure that area of the bow is really rosined well. One of the best descriptions I've heard of this is it's more of a slide. If you think of someone on skis or skates where they slide to stop, it's that. And so what I teach is first start with the bow on the string and slide where your bow moves out like that. Like that. So you're going to kind of push down, slide to the side. And if you notice, my hands are on the string just to mute it. If we don't, that's fine as well for now, but just leave them resting over the string. Like that. You can do other strings, upper strings. I find lower ones are easier to start with because it's flat. Like that. As you practice this, also, you're not going to break your bow doing this. You might break a hair randomly, but it's not actually that bad for it. After you do that, then you can lift up a little bit, and what's important is that the bow stops. I sometimes see people when they start this, they go, and they lift off. Or they go like that. You want it to stop. As you lift up the bow, see, instead of sliding, we can get it to stop more quickly. And like I said before, if the sound is not as loud as mine, that's fine. If you have a little bit of sound, that's what you want, and that will develop. And then you just keep building it up. Like I said, it's a fairly simple thing to do. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this who are like, well, I didn't get the sound that you got. I just didn't get any of it. Keep doing the sliding. If you got a little bit of sound, perfect, you've got it. And then you just keep developing it. After I did it for a year, it still was developing more. After 2 years, it kept developing, and even now, I can do it, but things like the triple chop are not as strong as I'd like it to be. When you incorporate this into playing, it's really however you feel it should fit. A lot of pieces have it already written in, and some people, like I believe Casey Dreesen said that he starts, I might have this backwards, but Casey Dreesen, who's one of the big pioneers of chopping and helped create the Chop Notation Project, as was the main creator of that, I believe he said he starts with chopping just back and forth, and then adds notes. and keeps that going. And then Tracy Silverman, from what I remember reading, does sort of the opposite. Tracy Silverman's an amazing electric violinist where he will have the melody, let's say, and add in chopping between there. I'll have some links in the description to some content such as the Chop Notation Project book, some links to books by Tracy Silverman where he talks about strum bowing and ghosting and things like that that are extremely helpful. Feel free to post any questions below you may have. It's a fun adventure and it opens up so many doors for musicality. Thank you very much.